All right, well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery. Today is Monday, September 29th, 2025. We get together most weekday mornings at 8 o'clock Central, talk about strategies, tips, techniques, share success stories, and support each of you. All of you should have my shared screen, and we're going to be going through a very significant announcement today that I think will be the answer to the problem that many of you have been looking for. All right, so here at the top of the page, it's normal. If you need to access funding, go to guaranteedfunding.org. Our website's 509pacific.org. Text support line, again, text support line is 903-347-8042. We put our past trainings up on YouTube. You're welcome to go back and view those if you'd like on the YouTube channel. If you need to schedule a call, this is the link to schedule. Our background, of course, is no different. Our new information is going to be in just a moment here. But as far as our background, we're a 501c3 nonprofit. We applied for and received a grant. The grant has three mandates. The first of which is to help improve financial literacy. And to you, that may not seem like a big deal, but there's a lot of people that want money, that need money to start or grow a business, and they don't know what you know. We've got people like Star Main and Olva and Mark Moses. I think so many of you have the background, the skill set, the education, the experience that it's kind of easy to think that others know what you know about how to raise capital. Most people don't know what you know. They don't know what you and I know. So education is an incredibly important part of what we do. The second thing that we do, the second mandate of the grant, is to give away shelf corps. You might say, well, why in the world would we give away shelf corps? Well, because without a foundation of a fundable business, there won't be any business funding. It used to be that we work before the grant, we work with clients using their own entities. The problem with that is often there would be issues or uncertainties, and we frankly avoid that by giving them a clean shelf corp that's ready for funding. We can shorten the cycle time and certainly reduce the unexpected unknowns from working with their current entity. Once we have the knowledge and the shelf corp, now we're ready to go to funding. And that's really what the marketplace wants, right? They need funding to start to grow, to accomplish their potential. So that's what we do in a nutshell. That was a very Cliff Notes version. Again, you can dig deeper on our YouTube channel, and there are also some trainings on our website. But let's spend most of our time today on today's agenda. So this is new. We've not talked about this before, so this is new. We plan to roll it out October 1st, which of course is in a couple days. Wednesday, I believe, starts October. But we decided let's kick the week off in preparation for October with a new lead generation program. Different from anything we've ever done before. Has some similarities because, of course, as you go through time, you figure out what works and what doesn't work. So this, I think, is going to be exactly what many of you need to be able to increase your income if you're a distribution partner. So the important considerations, of course, are the same, but let's review those just to make sure we have a common understanding. So it's all about solving problems, right? That's what entrepreneurs do. Entrepreneurs offer goods or services to solve other people's problems. And you're in a remarkable position to help other people solve their problem, which is access to capital. We have a unique, innovative, legal, compliant model that's designed to take a client off the street, keep their expense to less than $500 out of pocket, and be able to take them from where they're at all the way, don't know what happened there, all the way to $1 million plus capital raise. Now, there's a couple assumptions here I do want to explain. So there's an asterisk. If you're a reseller and or a branch office, you control what the client processing fee is. So if you want to make it more than the baseline $499.99, just a penny short of 500, you certainly can. But then if you're going to change that price, which it's fine if you do, you'll need to change this messaging a bit. So maybe you're charging $1,000 for the processing fee. Well, then you'd have to change this slightly. The second assumption here is we're talking about the average client. So not every client's average, right? So the average client will come in, and as we're going to describe in a moment, they'll get first tranche funding, and that first tranche funding will economically support everything else. So, with that being said, we are not lenders. We're not a bank. We're not a credit union. The world, frankly, doesn't need any more lenders. There's plenty of lenders. That's not the problem. The reason that small businesses have trouble accessing to capital is not because there's not enough money or enough lenders. It's that they don't qualify. And often they don't even know what it means to qualify. So, what do you and I do as technical advisors? Well, of course, we educate. We talked about that. We also provide the free shelf corps, which we also made reference to, number two. And then tying back to the point we made about limited out-of-pocket expense to the participant, what's happening is the client gets the shelf corp from you. The shelf corp is free. You determine what the processing fee is. You get them under contract. You collect the processing fee. And then normally within about 7 days, we can get that shelf corp over to them in their name. You might say, well, why does it take 7 days? Well, we have to get it in their name, right? Right now, it's not in their name. So at the state level, at the federal level, the business plan, the financial projections, we need to get all that paperwork put together. Give us a week, and normally we'll have that to the client. After that, then we can get them immediately after that, I should say, we can get them funding offers. And then they'll normally have that funding within 2 weeks from the date of enrollment. So it could be a little sooner, it could be a little later, but normally within 2 weeks. Now, how much is that? We've had trainings on first tranche financing. You can go back and see. The largest we've ever had was, well, what'll happen is the clients will get offers and then they can decide to accept them or not. The most offers any of our clients have had this calendar year was, in fact, earlier this month, if I recall correctly, and it was just over $750,000. So this is normally not the full amount of capital that we're going after. It's the first tranche. How much the client gets will be based upon their baseline credibility, but the average client's going to get multiple offers and plenty of funding to have adequate working capital. After that, then we work with the clients to determine the right type of funding, because there's many different types of lenders, many different loan programs. So we need to figure out what's best for them based upon their wants, their needs, and their mitigating circumstances. So normally, we'll do that right after they get that first tranche of funding. Then we're going to help build the client's loan package. And this can sound foreign to some of you, but it's normal in the industry. The loan package represents the document set that's needed based upon the lender's specific requirements. So there's not just one design of a loan package. It needs to be based upon the right type of funding that the client needs based upon their wants, needs, and mitigating circumstances. But then we're responsible for that. We work with clients to help them legally and ethically meet underwriting guidelines. And I know you might say, well, of course it should be legal and ethical, but I can tell you, we sometimes have clients that come to us and they want things that are beyond what's legal and ethical. Well, we won't do that. And we guarantee the funding. So we've got a formula for funding. We know it'll work and we guarantee them funding. We have a 100% success rate. So as long as the clients participate, in other words, stay with it, everyone will have a successful capital raise, and the amount of capital raise is dependent upon what the client wants. Now, it could certainly be, because this isn't too good to be true, we may have to go through multiple tranches, but we have a 100% success rate for those clients that do participate. All right, so that's kind of the background, nothing necessarily new there. But now we're going to get into the lead generation program because I think what we can see here is there's a lot of people that have a problem that you and I can solve, but some of you, it's kind of the haves and have-nots. And I hate to use that term, and I don't mean to be insensitive, but we have the Varneys, the Zons, the Troys of the world. You know, we have what we call the six-figure club. Those of you that consistently are earning six figures, 100,000 or more through our model. And that's great. So we have the six-figure club. But the truth is, there's others that seem to kind of struggle. And typically, the reason that they struggle is they don't, it's not because the program doesn't work. It's not because we don't have a system in place. It's usually they don't have any leads. And if you don't have a lead, you have no one to educate. And if you have no one to educate, you have no one to give a free shelf corp to. And if we have no one to give a free shelf corp to, then no one gets funded and you kind of piffer out. So, we're going to talk about today the new lead generation program that I think will fix that problem. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll up so we can see the entire page and see if we can make this just a bit larger. And we're going to go through it. Okay. So there's two elements to this model, this approach. And what we're trying to do here is solve your problem. And not all of you have the problem. You know, Lamy, he's a machine. Paris, she's a machine. So some of you don't need help with leads. I respect that. But if you do need help with leads, this should be the perfect fit. So the first element we need to have is somewhere to drive our leads to. And I know we need the leads first, but we need somewhere to drive them to before we worry about getting leads. We believe, and I think many of you have proven, the best approach is to have a simple, concise landing page to drive people to. So we provide that, and it's called the RMP. There's no change to this, by the way. Number one is the same as it has been. So we provide you a landing page. It's an exclusive landing page just for you. So anyone that comes through it, you're getting credit for. It has built-in drip marketing, and that's important, right? Because not everyone's just going to sign up off of their first impression or exposure to what we do. So the drip marketing goes over an 8-day period with 10 drip texts that's going to them, and it's designed to really lighten your load. It drives educational information out to them, it drives your contract out to them, and it motivates them to enroll. As I mentioned, the contract is built in. Some of you even struggle in just taking that editable contract that we provide to you for free and getting it set up properly. So that's included in the RMP. We'll build out the landing page, we'll build out the drip marketing, we'll provide you an e-contract, and you'll have that link if you're ready to just enroll someone, but that e-contract link is built into the drip marketing as well. So what's awesome is you'll literally get up, like a number of you this morning. You got up, like Shelly and some others. You got up this morning, you check your email, and you have 3 new or 5 new or 7 new clients that have signed up over the weekend, ready for you to invoice. So that certainly significantly reduces your burden. And then by having the RMP, the landing page, it essentially plugs you in to our CRM and our flow of data. Therefore, everyone that comes through your landing page, of course, you're getting paid on the front end based upon your markup, if any, of the processing fee. And then you're also making 5% of the client's capital raise. Now, some of you've pushed back and said, well, 5%, that doesn't seem like enough. But, you know, our average capital raise now is between 1 and 3 million. So let's go to the low end of that at 1 million. Well, if you're referring someone in to your landing page, you're making whatever you want on the front end, plus you're making, let's say, 5% of 1 million, that's 50,000. How much time have you put into it? Not a lot. It's actually a pretty good income. So I just know for some of you, you're really big income earners. Take Amanda Stanley, for example. It's hard for us to get those of you that are really big money makers into the model, because as a nonprofit, we can't pay you as much as you could get paid through other programs. But with that being said, it is 5%. And then the nice perk is that you can also earn an override. So we're not MLM, we're not network marketing, but let's just use a simple example to clarify it. So let's say that you're Brian, and Brian has his landing page, and Brian brings in Anthony. And so then Anthony signs up and goes through the capital raise. So Brian gets 5%. But then Anthony might say, hey, this is pretty great. I know some people that are also looking for funding. So Anthony then becomes a reseller if he wants, and there's no cost to be a reseller. If Anthony also gets the landing page, so both of them now are plugged into the system, then the reseller that's signing up the client gets 5%, and whomever brought them in to their sales organization makes an equal override. So we collect 10% performance fee from the clients, and we actually pay out 10%. As a nonprofit, we wouldn't even charge a performance fee if it weren't to keep you all happy. All right, so this isn't a change, but it's the prerequisite for doing number two. So number two is what's new, which we need to spend more time on. But does anyone have questions on the first element? I know some of you say, hey, I don't need your landing page. I can develop my own. I don't doubt that you can develop your own, and I suspect you can develop one even better than what we can. However, we need it for us to handle the type of growth. So we're making some changes to be able to scale up to handle the type of growth that we're seeing. And one element is integrating those of you into the CRM so the data flows automatically rather than a lot of manual computations. So that's number one. If you have any questions, let me know. Let's see, Abner has a question. So on the landing page, the first opt-in is the process, and we've had separate trainings that you can go see on the landing pages on our YouTube channel if you need more and to see the design in that. But their first opt-in is just for them to accept further communication from us, and that keeps us all compliant. And then afterwards, those 10 drip texts that I mentioned will go out to them over a week period. And then they have the opportunity from the get-go, from the landing page, to go ahead and enroll in your e-contract, as well as they're reminded periodically. But once they've come through your landing page, they're your lead. So even if they came back later in time, not just within that week, you would still get credit. And so then once they sign up, then you get an executed copy of their agreement, which I made reference to. It's already signed by both parties. We get an e-signature on file from you. They've signed, and you're ready just to invoice them. So it's great. All right, but let's talk about leads, because this is where the problem typically resides is, hey, the landing page is great, program's great, but I need leads. I need leads. And so let's talk about how we propose to resolve that. We've tried a few different models, but here are the facts. We're really good. We have a division, a team, and I'm not part of that. I couldn't tell you how to develop great ads. That's not my skill set. But our team, our organization is really, really good at generating leads. So we frankly don't need your help generating leads, but we're out of time in terms of being able to talk to those leads. And it's not really selling them, it's educating them and getting them into your drip marketing sequence. So you're kind of the facilitator. They've already explicitly expressed interest. They're hot, if you will. Now you want to connect with them, answer any initial questions, and then get them into your drip marketing campaign. So with the lead generation program, we're doing this for free. Now we got to define free. That means you do need to pay for the ad spend because our team is going to develop the ads and go run the ads on Instagram and Meta and different online resources. So you do pay for the ad spend. However, you don't pay anything above that. So even if you went and did it yourself, you'd have the same ad spend. So if we're really good at developing the ads and placing the ads, let us take care of that for you. You just cover the ad spend. What we found that works is a 2-day ad spend of 500 a day. So at $1,000, we're generating some great results, and we'll show you some of the results here in just a moment. So with that, your outlay is $1,000. Not paying us anything, but paying us to go place the ads. So we'll develop and place the ads. The ads absolutely work. And then what will happen is you'll get the leads from us. So take Albert, who just asked that question. I'm sorry, Abner, not Albert, Abner, a few minutes ago. So we're able to turn this around quickly now. It used to have a lag time. So again, we've learned what works, what doesn't, and so this is what's working now. So Abner, remind me, you paid for your ad spend. I think it was Thursday of last week. Abner, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but we've already been able to get him the leads from his ad spend. So now we're able to turn it around in less than a week, where before there was a lag time. So that's great. Yeah, and Abner said yes, and he got 71 leads from his $1,000 ad spend over 2 days. So we'll provide the leads. Now, the understanding is this is a lead generation program. So what Abner is going to do is then contact those leads. If you're not interested in connecting with the leads to feed them in to the landing page and into the process, this is not a good fit for you. Because at some point, you've got to provide some value in the sales model, right? Because how does sales work? Well, first we need a proposition. We got that, check. Then we need leads. We figured out how to do that, check. Then someone needs to interface with the leads. That's where we're bogged down, but this puts you right in that sweet spot. And then the leads become clients and you make money. So we're going to provide you the leads in a spreadsheet, and it'll tell you who they are and where they came from, and they're legitimate leads. They're leads that we've developed, not leads that we went and bought from some aged lead source. So with that, I can show you some real examples, and Abner's not on here, but we could add Abner, and Abner would actually be at the top. These weren't ordered, but in order of signed contracts. But here are some recent examples using this exact model. Nicolas participated, and all of these are in 2 days. I got tired of typing that over and over, but in 2 days, because we're doing a 2-day ad spend, 500 a day, Nicolas got 42 signed contracts. That's a fact, not a hope, not a wish. Mark, who's on here, Mark's on here, he got 70. Keith got 51. Chris is on here. He got 53. Ray got 54. Michael 39. Danielle 43. Terence is usually on. Let's see if he's on this morning. He's not. 59. So we can't make any promises. Oh, that you're going to get a million leads from a 2-day ad spend. But if you wanted to take these and average them together, what would that be? Well, we should expect at least, well, let's just take the lowest number. We should get at least 30 plus. And so again, if you have a better way to use $1,000 ad spend to get 30 or more deals, do it your way. It's fine. We're not marking this up. We're not making any money. We're trying to solve the problem that some of you have, which is that you don't have leads. So through this model, I would argue, didn't mean to cross it. Through this model, I would argue that you're really not selling, but you certainly are recommended to connect with the leads, get them into your landing page. With the landing page, now they're going to be part of the drip marketing. And remember, the way we have it designed now wasn't always that way. From the moment they go into your drip marketing campaign, they instantly get your contract. So some people are ready to sign up right now, but some people aren't. We need to continue to educate them, and that's the purpose of the drip marketing. As far as how much do you make from this, I can't make any promises, but you need to understand the formula. So, number one, you pick how much you make on the front end. Whatever you tell us that you want to alter the processing fee on the front end is yours. And so, what will happen is we'll set up your e-contract based upon what you want your front end to be. And we've got 641 of you on here, and I know that some of you are leaving it at the base 500. Some of you are going as high as 5,000. There may be a couple of you going even above 5,000, but that's up to you. You're determining the front end because that's what's going to be built into your e-contract that they receive through your landing page and through the drip marketing. So that's specific to you. And then the back end is the normal 5%, which again, I know is not that much, but if we can generate some volume, and Mark is again on here. So if Mark can take the 70 from his 2-day ad spend, and if we can get them for the average or typical capital raise of $1 million, that's 50,000 a piece. Can anyone tell me what Mark would expect to make using those assumptions? 70 conversions at 50,000 a piece. What would that be? Anyone good with math and can tell me? So again, it's not too good to be true. You see how the process works. You see the variables. Uh, I could go through and pick what the lowest results we've ever had from this marketing campaign using these exact ads. I can't imagine we've ever gone below 20. But I mean, even if you had one, what if you had one? What if you spent $1,000 on a 2-day ad spend and all you did is made 50,000? Well, that'd be fucking horrible, right? I mean, think about the ROI on that. It's crazy good. But we're not, it takes our time and effort to do this. So we're here trying to solve your problem. We don't make any markup off of it. So if you want to try it, you can. But yes, and I see the questions already coming. Do I need to have the RMP to do the lead generation program? You do. Otherwise, it doesn't work because we need to have a way to drive these people into a landing page, have the drip campaign, and then make sure that their files are going through our system so the commissions and the overrides are paid. So I know some of you participated in the prior types of marketing programs, what we call the OBD. We're not using the OBD for anyone new. The OBD had a few imperfections, but it certainly was effective in generating the same types of numbers. It's just with the OBD, some of you had reluctance to follow up with your leads, which is interesting because that's kind of your role as a reseller. And some of you didn't have a landing page to drive people in, and so it became a bit broken of a system. Here, you definitely need the RMP if you want to use the lead generation program. We've been able to alter how we're doing marketing. So before, what happened is we could only have one person that were running ads at a time. We've resolved that. So that's why there's no longer a wait. So let's say that 10 people wanted to do this for October 1st and 2nd. We can accommodate all 10 and it would not water down your numbers. You should get the same average results. So in summary, and let's make this a bit smaller, I encourage you all to start thinking about October. We've got a new month coming up, and October is the 10th month of the year. So we're in the final quarter of the year, month 10, month 11, month 12, October, November, December. This is typically the most profitable, the most successful time of the year for our business model. So this is great. You've got today and tomorrow, the end of September, to start thinking about what do you want to do to have a really successful final quarter of the year. If you don't have leads, you're probably not going to make much money. If you're good at generating leads, then frankly, do it your way. If you're not very good at generating leads, then you can do it our way. All right, and so I see that Barney has a question, and it's a good point. So some of you have said that you have lots of leads, but your sphere of influence don't trust you for whatever reason. And that's great because these leads are not your mother and your brother and your neighbors. These are entrepreneurs from across the country that's looking for capital. All right, who else has questions? Let's see. Mark asks, yeah, so this is a different program. So some of you are reflecting back of how we did marketing before. And what did I say earlier? This is new. It's rolling out today. I've described how it works. So a fallacy is for you to go back and say, oh, in the past you did it a different way. Well, that's a fact, but that was a different way. So what I'm explaining to you is how this works, how this works. And it's different. I would argue it's better. Doug mentioned he was in the old OBD, outsourced business development. Yeah, there's no auto renewal on that. That was a one-time event. The OBD is closed. The LGP, lead generation program, is what we're doing going forward. It works as I've described, and you're welcome to participate if you want. Again, we've been able to tweak this so we don't have capacity constraints. With the old model, we could only run ads for one person at a time. So some of you had to wait quite a while for your ads to ever run. Now we can get you within a week. We can have your ads ran and we can have your results in your inbox. All right, so I think that explains how it works. Again, if you share the excitement I do, it should be a game changer, right? If you're looking at how you're going to make sure that you're going to join Zon and Barney and Tram and Starmain and Shelley in the six-figure club, making sure that you're generating at least 100,000 a month in your pocket in October, November, December. Let's think about over the next quarter, at least 250,000, 300,000 over the next quarter. This is a way that I believe should accomplish that. But you're an important part. So we can run the ads and the ads work. We can provide the landing page with the drip marketing and it works, but you're that key conduit bringing everything together. So could you do nothing? Could you sign up for this and do nothing? I don't think it'll work because we need to connect the leads that are coming through the ad spend into your landing page. So that's really if you want to ask where the rubber hits the road, what do you really need to do? You need to interface with all these people that are coming in, all these prospects, and connect them to your landing page. And so theoretically, you could do it without talking to them, but I think in many cases they'd love to hear a human voice, and we just don't have the bandwidth. If we had, our option is to build and hire and build a sales organization internally and essentially eliminate your role, or give you, frankly, all the tools that are needed, and then that allows you to be part of the value proposition and earn income. So that's what we're doing. So if you want, we do need to have the RMP. The RMP has a refundable deposit. I'll send over the agreement if you need that. Text us and I'll send it over to you. We charge a refundable deposit for this because anytime we've given it away for free, everybody wants free, and then half the people do nothing with it, and we've wasted a lot of time. So you're looking at $1,000 for us to set this up. However, we will refund, or technically we credit that 1,000 back as soon as you just run one deal through it. So the trigger for the refund of the deposit is one deal. And if you're not confident you can run one deal through, then don't get the RMP. So you would have an outlay for this if you want to use this model, but you would get that back after you've ran one deal through, and you still earn commissions on that one deal. So you could do this number one without number two, but you can't do number two without number one because it's a broken system. We've seen those of you that are not using a landing page, often you don't have a good drip marketing campaign, and then it's not feeding the data into our system so we can pay you out the back end. All right, well, hopefully that was helpful. Again, best advice is if you have individual questions, text us 903-347-8042. We're going to open this up through today and tomorrow through the end of September. So if you're wanting to participate, we ask you to do so before October 1st, and then we're going to consider closing this at that time based upon how many participants we have. So you've got a couple-day window to decide if it's something that you want to use for your fourth quarter revenue generation. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you back tomorrow morning. Have a great day. Bye-bye.